Brett Greenholz, how are you, brother?
Good. How are you, Lenny?
Good, good. Hey, the Silver State 300 from Best in the Desert. It seems to me that you had a good outing.
Yeah, we really did. There's a lot of bikes, a lot of quads. Quite a bit of quads showed up, which was kind of cool. We had competition, and course was different this year, so it made it real fun.
Let's get into the course a little bit before we start talking about some of the classes and how some of the winners and the podium positions were. Um, you were saying the course was different. What was different about this course than traditionally?
Traditionally, like Silver State, everybody thinks it's a freeway race. It's all flat roads, sand washes, things like that. To where it's normally wide open, you finish the race really fast. This year they changed it up on us. They had bunch of really rocky mountain passes, bunch of nasty sand washes. They had some really cool sections, but they actually made this one very tight and technical, which was really cool.
Um, so being tight and technical, did that give you guys a more clear advantage to make sure that the trucks and cars didn't come near you guys at all?
Oh, absolutely. It gave us advantage on those dirt bikes too, because when it's real tight and technical, we're a lot faster than those guys through there.
Excellent, excellent. So non-traditional best in the desert race, terrain wise, were the markings still just as good as traditionally the best in the desert has been?
Yeah, actually, this course, the trackers and everything else, and how they marked it was actually really, really good this year. Megan and Nick and Brian, I know they went out and did all that stuff early, and it was really nice. There was a couple incidents that happened with dirt bikes, things like that. But for us, to me personally, it was actually marked pretty well.
So pretty smooth sailing.
Oh yeah,
How many pits were there?
there's five total.
Were they accessible easy as well?
Oh yeah, super easy, literally right off the road. There's one that's like down a dirt road, which is a power line road, which is really smooth. It was like 2.5 miles from the road, but it was a smooth graded road all the way there. The rest of them were literally right off the road.
Oh, that's awesome. Are there race books that they give you? Are they still just like the chase manuals? Are they still
Oh
just as
yeah.
good?
Same
Right.
old. They send it all out. You get your pit mileage, you get your chase truck mileage. You like it. It gives you the directions, which makes it very easy for anybody to come out and find the pits and make sure your riders are okay, which is cool.
That's one of the things I really liked about Best in the Desert. They laid it all out. I mean, it's a template for success if you follow the rules.
Yep, 100%.
That's awesome. What position off the starting line were the pro ATVs?
I was 13th off the line. Um, Jason and Ian from Team Blind, they were, I think, 12th. No, they were 11th off the line. There's about 4 or 5 pros and the Ironman pros, and then it was us. And yeah, I think my number, yeah, it's right, still there, number 13, right off the line, which
Wow.
is nice because they put us up there right behind the pros, which was cool.
Oh, that's awesome because normally they would have put you behind some of the expert bikes,
Yeah,
um, and you'd have to fight through all that to get to the front.
yeah.
Man, that's awesome. Were any of the factory guys out there to race the best in the desert for the motorcycles?
I know Skyler Howells is out there. Danny Cooper is out there. There's a couple other guys out there. I don't know who's factory these days, but I know there's a couple big guys out there on the bikes.
Skyler House is a pretty big deal, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And the bike he's riding was a big deal to me. I personally love his bike that he was riding.
What was he riding?
His rally bike had like 9 gallons. I think he pitted one time, maybe that during that whole race. Yeah, that's a big advantage right there.
So he's already training for the next Dakar.
Yep, 100%.
I don't know if you caught the Wednesday live Instagram show with Joe Tall.
I watched part of it.
Well, I got insight on why they eliminated ATVs from the rally.
What happened?
They need more entry space. They have 120 slots, and
Uh-huh.
to bring Aprilia and Takati in, They had to eliminate something. Instead of eliminating some of the slower amateur motorcycle guys, they eliminated the 30 ATVs.
which is just insane.
Right.
Like that, everybody wants to race. That's a huge thing for us to like. That was some of my favorite things to watch for the Dakar was the quads because I want to do it one day, you know. But since they took us out,
I don't
and
know.
I don't
I don't
have
know if
to
you're going to
have
get
money.
that. I don't know if you're going to have that much money. I don't know if you're going to have that dream, bro.
Hey, but it's still a dream.
Right, right. I'd even like to do it on a motorcycle, but I just think it's
No,
really nuts.
no, I'm good. Those dunes scare me on a dirt bike.
Did Skyler Howe win the overall?
Oh yeah, he did it just under 5 hours, and it was 266 miles.
Man, that's freaking moving.
Yeah, he was scooting pretty good during that race. I
You
mean,
know what? Go
but
ahead.
also say he doesn't have to pit.
Well, the other guys could change their advantage and change it around. I mean, I think he's just prepping for Dakar. I wonder, did they have the road book on there and everything? Because you could build a paper road book that he could have followed the whole way as well.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm not sure. I got to the pits as he was just leaving. I was like, all right, see ya.
wow, that's pretty awesome though that he was out front. Who got second?
um, KTM team, as far as I know, they were in the pro class too. I don't remember their names, but they're on a KTM, and I think they finished less than 10 minutes behind Skyler.
That's still moving pretty good, you know,
Yeah,
for one guy on a bike that characteristically does not do well in this terrain in like a speed desert race.
yeah. And this one, like I said, it was super tight. So he just probably has that bike dialed.
Oh, you have to because you know some of the terrain that they take you through in Dakar is totally nuts.
Yeah, 100%. Especially I saw that rock section they had last year, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, we've got to see some crazy stuff from river crossings, you know, where it's up, you know, it's above the seat and you're
Yeah,
motoring through it, you know, you got to figure out how to get through.
yeah, and I don't know how they do that. There's no way I could do that.
Oh yeah, there is. You just figure a way. You just get it done. You know, I
Four
mean,
by four with a snorkel.
whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. No, your sport quad with a snorkel. You know, I mean, you got
Yeah.
to make it happen.
Quick disconnect, just throw it in the pack.
Do you get to see any of the trucks and UTVs finish?
I did not. We saw the youth race finish. They're about an hour behind us, but they ran from start to pit one. It's a bunch of kids like 14, 15, maybe younger. And they're all in RS1s, and they got to run from start to pit one, and whoever ran it the fastest on time, they gave them the trophy, which was kind of cool. I'm surprised they did that.
Right. And all the results are on Best in the Desert's website.
Yep. Yeah, they're all posted. They were official on Tuesday night. They were official.
Yeah, I seen something that you had posted, but I didn't get all of the information, you know.
Yeah, we posted it. It was kind of small in the little stories, but it was kind of cool. We actually had a pretty good day until between 4 and 5. We started having a couple mechanical issues, things like that, but we did pretty good for how we ran.
Well, it sounds like it, you know. I mean, you won, right?
we we got nervous at the end though. We got very nervous at the end. The last 80 miles, we were fighting as hard as we could to make sure we got across that line.
Really.
Oh yeah. It was a fun race. Everybody kept everybody on their toes. You know, Ian and Jason, those guys were fast. They had, I think, a carburetor issue, which kind of either slowed their bike down or it just kind of ran weird. And they ran out of fuel towards the finish line too.
I seen a video of them pushing.
Yeah, that was Jason. Jason was pushing it the last mile.
Wow. Poor
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. He's
Uh,
built. He's an old Marine, and he's built. He pushed it all the way that mile. I couldn't do it. It'd take me a lot longer. Put it that way.
so the KTM team, it just shows Shane Logan. It doesn't talk about any of his teammates.
Maybe he ran it solo. I'm not sure.
Maybe he did. That would explain why he was close, or
Yeah.
close. Um, Hayden Mintz and Trevor Hunter were the third.
Yep. Trevor Hunter's a fast dude. That's for sure.
And an open expert and an over 30 expert got in front of you guys. The
Yeah.
open expert was Morgan Schiltz. These guys should be running in the pro class, man. They shouldn't be running in the expert deal.
Yeah. So on that, the last 80 miles, we got passed by I think those three guys. We because of our
But you
mechanical.
were fourth overall for a long time.
Yeah, we were fourth overall, and in that last section, we were catching people, and then we had malfunction happen.
Well, you were only 4 minutes behind one of them, and yeah, you dropped like 20 minutes.
Yeah, we dropped quite a bit. I think we probably lost easy 20-25 minutes for what we could have ran that last 84.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it definitely made us nervous. Like I said, I rode from pit 5 to finish, and that whole last time I was literally looking behind me saying, all these guys are going to catch us. All these guys are going to catch us, because Elijah got on the bike from 3 to 5, and right when he's coming in, probably 10 miles out of pit 5, we actually lost fourth and fifth gear in the motor.
Man,
Yeah.
you're lucky it was a short race.
Yeah. I we would have kept going regardless, just to continue to finish, because we don't give up. We never give up. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know
And
how they do. I don't know how they do some of the truck classes, you know,
uh
but the first truck was Vaughn. How the heck do you say that guy's name?
no idea.
Gittin Jr. Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Bond Gitt Jr.
is
He's the
from
old drift
Carolina.
car, I think.
From North Carolina.
Yeah, he's the old drift car guy. He actually drives that Ford Bronco that's all decked out for like King of the Hammers.
Wow.
He's fast in it too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know some of these people at all.
Yeah, bunch of different crowd
Jeremy,
versus.
Jeremy Wagner did some stuff in the UTVs and works, and he was riding in one of the CTTT class, whatever that is.
So probably just some trophy truck class. I don't know. I
I'm
have
gonna
no idea.
I'm gonna have to read up on some of this stuff because classes don't make any sense to me.
Oh yeah, it's all new.
Yeah, they just go on forever, and they've mixed it all up with the UTVs and the trucks instead of breaking it all down. Um, you know,
Yeah, you can separate it by class, or you can do it by overall on their website. I know that.
Josh Rosen here, he got fifth in class.
Yeah, it looked like he had a pretty good day. I think he had something happen, but I know he powered through and got to the finish.
Wow, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research in this. Um, I don't know if I would want to be in a UTV, but you know what? They finished in 5 hours and 25 minutes. So
Uh-huh.
he did it in 5 hours and 23 minutes. That probably right have been where you guys would have been if you wouldn't have had any issues.
Yeah, if we didn't have the issues, I think we would have finished around about 5:25, no problem. Because the last one I got on the bike at 5, the first whole 15 minutes of me riding, I have it all on GoPro. It's probably about 12 miles. It is just fifth gear. as fast as you can go. And I'm stuck in third gear, as fast as third gear, which is like maybe 40, 50 miles an hour, I think is what racetracks clock me at. And
Yeah,
I'm just sitting up. It was, and I just kept looking back, like these guys are going to catch us. These guys are going to catch us. And then when I got to the real tight technical stuff, I knew I could put time on them because I'm pretty good at the tight technical stuff on our bike. And got through there, and got to that last section, even the last 11 miles with fifth gear wide open. I'm like, I'm in third gear, like this is no good. And I just keep looking back and looking back, like these guys are gonna freaking catch me.
but it
And
went by. It went by pretty quick, though.
it did go by pretty quick, which was nice. We from the start of the day to where we had the issue, we were having a really good day. We had the bike tuned correctly. Motor was running good until, of course, we just didn't know it was going to happen. The tranny started giving out. And then we sheared the nut off the swing arm bolt somehow, and it started backing out. And when I got to that last road, everything was just so squirrely. I looked down, things were breaking, falling apart. So I even had to go slower than third gear could go just to keep the bike together and make sure I got to that finish line before the other team did. Yeah, it was definitely nervous the whole time.
Right. Makes it rough in a situation like that. Did you get to talk to any of the other teams as they finished?
Yeah, we talked to Jason for a minute. He was just so worn out after pushing that bike. And then Shandy, and I forgot the other guy's name on Q33. It was their first time out on one of those player scramblers. And they're like, man, this is our first time out here. This is so fun. We're going to get more people to come out. I was like, yeah, let's get together. Let's get people out. And those guys are super cool. They're from like Texas and back east. And they actually raced the GNCC stuff on the 4x4s. I was like, that bike's a good bike, but it's not a 450.
Well, their top speed is pretty good, so you got to
Yeah,
be careful with that.
they said they hit like 81 or 82
That's
on
pretty good.
stock.
Yeah, and they probably didn't do anything to prep it for that environment.
Nope, not at all.
Man, that's incredible. And you
Uh-huh.
guys, your next race is the Vegas Torino.
Yeah, we have Vegas Reno coming up. The next race we're actually focusing on is Baja, Nevada with the Legacy Racing. It's a 2-day event at 650 miles. The first day we race 300 miles. The second day we race about a little over 300 or right at 300. That's our next big race, and then we have Vegas to Reno.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got some work to do to fix the issues you had and get another machine. Do you already have another machine ready for that Baja?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a whole nother powerhouse. This is the first race bike. The second race bike is finished, just sitting and waiting. We're gonna do a little bit more shock testing, make sure we get that dialed. So hopefully we can have, more pros come out and, ride. Like what's really cool about the Legacy is they're doing half off the entries. So
Right.
I really hope it, gets people to come out and race. Like I've never seen prices this low for this race for the whole Legacy Racing Association. And I just hope it brings competition. It helps bring sponsors. It helps, get everybody, more people together.
One of the things that I think is um one of the problems is people they have websites, but they're not doing anything to draw racers.
Yeah. Yeah.
No other advertisements. They're not, putting flyers out. They're not, pushing it on social media. They're not
Yep.
doing any of that kind of stuff. And, I when we had that conversation with him, I reached out and says, hey, get me what you have and we'll put it out there as well. Because
Yeah.
in the ATV community knows about it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Like, and that's what's cool that talking to Megan, because we're friends with Megan outside of, racing and everything else. She's actually with Best of Desert. She actually goes to all the other races and puts a booth up and just talks to people. And she actually does raffles, things like that for free entry where it costs you $20 to enter, but if you win, you get free entry to a race. And that's huge to get people more excited about it. And that's when we mentioned to the legacy guys that you guys need to get out and about, and people need to
I
know.
think Kittleson Desert does a horrible job too. We know of these things because we've done it, but
Yeah.
there's so many people in the racing world or in the world that may race that don't do it
Yep.
because we don't hear about it.
Yeah, it's all social media, and a lot of
But,
people
but they're
don't
not
have
putting
it.
it out there. But they're not
Yeah.
putting it out. Like they should be reaching out to District 37, District 38, and be flooding their sites with
Yep.
these information for these races.
That and the Arizona Grand Prix guys, like they have, I think, like 30, 40 quad guys. They have like 100 dirt bikes. Like that's where they need to go. And it's not far for them to go to it.
Right.
Just go out there, put a booth up, and just talk to people. That's literally all it's going to take to get the entries up.
I totally agree. I totally
But
agree.
if I can't push them to go.
No, we can only talk to them about it and do what we can to make these things happen.
Yep.
Hopefully the race report, what we'll do is we'll take and we put the Silver State logo on there so everybody knows that we talk about it. The next report we do, we have to get deeper into the results and know more about more classes. You said you got to watch the youth race finish. Do you remember what the fastest youth driver was by chance?
I don't. As soon as the first guys were coming in, we were talking to a couple of the dirt bike guys that were in between them because we're friends with some of the Ironman guys and things like that. But I don't. But I know one kid. I think he was like 12, like barely seeing over the steering wheel, which is really cool that they're out there, in these RS1s doing that course, because that whole first section on a quad was not fun. It was not fun at all.
How far was it from where you finished to where you started?
What do you mean?
So if you got to see the kids run a special course and you saw them at the finish, so the finish was close to one of the pits in the race.
Yeah, it was probably like 15 miles down the road. But when they got to pit one, they trailered their cars to the finish line.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were all unloading them. We were like, "What's going on?" And then we started talking to everybody. They're like, "Oh, that's the youth race. They're unloading, so they come up on the podium," which was really, I think that was probably the coolest thing that they've ever done in a while.
I think that podium for the best in the desert is a pretty cool deal. They just don't reach out to enough people still. They're still not getting enough coverage.
Yeah, yeah, like they need to do some type of live coverage, things like that. Like I've talked to Starlink, all those guys, and like I want to put a live camera on a quad, which would be really cool. But the Starlink is so big, like there's no way to do it on a dirt bike or quad or anything. They have it all on the side by sides, and they could do it with the youth class and they could do it with the trophy trucks. But that's another good way for people to watch.
The technology's there.
Oh, I know, but they don't want to do it because they can't get a big enough antenna or something on the quad in the mountains. They said it doesn't work.
Yeah. We'll just have to work on them a little bit.
Yeah, I
And
said we're ready to do testing for you.
yeah, I just had a great conversation on the way over tonight about some other ATV stuff that's
Uh,
uh, if we could make some of that work, we could, build a race program, a desert program out of it and do some racing. But everything's funding and meeting the right people, and which you've
yeah,
been doing for a long time. I remember saving your butt when when you were just really green out in the desert. But it's a lot of fun, and we need to keep it up and get best
uh,
in the desert and legacy to do more of a diverse advertising.
yeah, 100%. I know they're advertising something big already. I don't know if you've seen it on the social media. Next year they're both hosting a 1,000-mile single day race.
I've heard about it, but that's next year. We need to
Yep.
we need to fill the entries for this year so that we
To
can,
get that going for next year.
yes, you know,
Uh-huh.
and you and I have had a conversation, and multiple people have had conversations about Raptor 700s. And one of the problems was the gas tank. Well, we have solved that issue. If
Really?
enough people want to order gas tanks, they can reach out to us and we can get a number of gas tanks in the country and cut the shipping costs down and the lead times down, as well as 5 gallon tanks for the YFZ 450Rs, because that's, one of the problems they're having is just not enough fuel.
Yeah, because I think the biggest tank they can put on there is what, 3.2 maybe?
Whatever the IMS tank is, I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think it's pretty small.
Yes. Where,
And I mean, there's guys that are racing them out there. Cowboy Cerrone has his Yamaha, and I don't know how far that stock tank goes. I know Josh Rowe and Travis and all those guys raced one back in Baja. What was it, 2000?
well, but in Baja, you can fit wherever you want.
Yeah, I just don't know how far they can go on a tank.
I'm
I
sure
don't think they can do 60 miles.
no, and I'm sure they had it mapped out so that they had a pit there or fuel there. They might have even carried fuel. You don't know. I don't remember talking to Josh and much about it to get enough feedback from him.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to get that bike like a little bit more built, but it's not a desert bike. I keep telling Nolan, which is Cowboy Cerrone's teammate, because we're becoming a little bit more friends after we met at the pre-run. It's like, you need to get off that Yamaha, bud. Ride a Honda. You're gonna be a lot happier.
I don't even know who they're dealing with to help them. They probably don't even
Direct Yamaha is what I was told.
who.
Direct with Yamaha.
Well, there's nobody there that knows. I mean, they're gonna
Yeah,
build them, but they're not racing them. They need to get with a racing company that can help them.
yeah. And I'm talking to one right now. But I don't know if you want to get in with that one.
Well, they raced one of our Hondas. They had a Banshee that they were supposed to race at the Laughlin race, and it
Uh,
didn't run. And the gentleman, Kalani Korn, let him ride his Honda that he bought from
uh,
Josh Rowe, and they went out and won the expert class, I believe it was, on that
I
race.
remember I was there when I raced against Kalani and Josh.
Yeah, but this is when Kalani didn't race, and he put the
Uh,
bike and let Cerrone race.
oh, really? So that's probably the year before that I came. It might have been a while ago, but I know I met Kalani and Josh on the starting line. I think it was 22, I
I think that was
believe.
the year before.
Probably.
Yeah, it's
No,
pretty.
thank you, Rick.
Because I
You don't
saw
want
the
to.
video of it, and I didn't know what it was, and Josh goes, "You don't recognize that bike?"
Uh
He had to point it out to me. you know,
huh. Oh man.
but yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. We need to get everybody on the same page, get everybody together, and get moving forward. Reach out to your contacts, at Best in the Desert and Legacy. Tell them we're here. We'll do what we can.